Once more you grace me with your presence. Do you simply enjoy what it is I have to share? Or are you after something? Something only the gods can provide. Continuing our journey through the void, we will now discuss the final set of Ventara, powerful beings born from the primordial forces of chaos. Purveyor of the unknown, keeper of all, and the infinite understanding, Agma is the horrendous, barely humanoid Ventara of forbidden knowledge and insignificance. Often manifesting as a colossal mass of eyes and tentacles, Agma cares little for the opinions of mortals, for the only thing that concerns it is the knowledge they possess. And if most are driven to insanity, so be it. The realm shaped and overseen by Agma is Agarima, and it is described as a writhing amalgamation of infinite libraries, laboratories, and tentacles. Within its extensive halls, one has access to the universe's greatest secrets, but uncovering such truths would require traversing this accursed realm, contending with the abominations that stalk it, and hoping to whatever god or gods you worship that they ensure some piece of your mind remains intact after reading even the most inconsequential scroll. There are 3 known artifacts associated with the Mad God: the Qualzitoth, the Architect's Spine, and the Eyes of Tolawan. The Qualzitoth is an ancient tome that leaks a black ooze and is composed of sewn-together flesh. The tome is said to grant its reader truthful answers to any questions they may have. However, the number of questions is limited by one's mental fortitude. If a reader asks just one too many questions, they are granted a brief glimpse to something the mortal mind shouldn't perceive, before being damned to live with such glimpses of the beyond. The Architect's Spine is among one of the most unique artifacts, as it attaches directly to the wearer's spine. Once fused, the spine grants the wearer void abilities that only those born of Agma's realm are capable of using. However, it is believed that removing the spine will always result in the death of the one it has currently fused with. Some records of those that have used the spine also speak of whispers lingering in the corners of their mind after prolonged use. Lastly, the Eyes of Tolawan are actual eyes that must be implanted into the user. Once the eyes have been socketed, the user is granted enhanced perception that allows them to peer into that which the mortal eye could never see. Lady of Lust, the salacious seducer, and the king of pleasure, Seline is the deity of lust, desires, and excess. One of the few Ventara that frequently changes their appearance, Seline, when dealing with mortals, will manifest as what said individual would find most attractive. Outside of this, they often take on an androgynous look. Given their domains, it is common for Seline and Dreven to partake in activities with one another or scheme together. The realm is the Rapturous Gardens, a place where pleasure, excess, and hedonism are paramount. The realm itself is a massive, idyllic landscape with stunning vistas and cities brimming with brothels, taverns, and much more. At the center of the realm floats the Rakashing spires, pristine and devilishly beautiful towers that hold the greatest pleasures of the flesh and mind. There are 2 known artifacts created by Seline, the Master's Mark and the Tongue of Seline. The mark is a finely crafted and bladed whip that can extend to unexpected lengths. It is a fierce and violent weapon that seems to take its own pleasure in the pain it inflicts. The Tongue of Seline, similar to the Eyes of Tolawan, is a body part that must replace the user's pre-existing limb. In this case, one must remove their tongue and replace it with Seline's. In return, the user's charm is improved drastically, and those that listen to the honey words are quickly swooned by them. Bringer of transformation, lord of mutations and the melded madness, Vorak is the ever-changing deity of revolution, mutations, and strife. Vorak is particularly unique as it is believed that it is the amalgamation of several deities that became conjoined through some unknown means. After millennia, the identities and domains of these separate deities merge into one crude and grotesque form. Its realm is known as Carcios, and much like its master, the plane is a rough collection of various realms smashed together. One portion may resemble a simple swamp, and only a few steps away could be a land ravaged by blood rain and emerald green storms. The most disturbing aspect of the realm, however, is its mutagenic properties. It is believed that the strange magics of the plane will slowly induce mutations within any who venture through its lands for too long, morphing them into an unrecognizable creature. The artifacts associated with Vorak are the Rebel's Quiver, the Siren's Collar, and worst of them all, the Staff of Metamorphosis. The Rebel's quiver is a powerful, albeit chaotic tool useful to any archer. The quiver is said to enchant any arrow placed within it with a random enchantment. One arrow may create a fiery explosion upon impact, while another summons a bolt of lightning to strike. The Siren's collar is said to have been crafted from the flesh of a slain siren, and allows the wearer to produce a potent sonic screech capable of debilitating or even killing anyone caught within its range. Lastly is a Staff of Metamorphosis. The staff is seen by those that are aware of its existence as one of the most cruel and nauseating artifacts ever created. So much so that the Circle of Arcanum, a well-regarded collection of Iskara's mages, has locked it away so that it may never fall into the wrong hands. The artifact is said to mimic the effects of Vorak's realm, but at a much more violent and rapid rate. Victims of the staff are irreversibly and brutally changed into beings similar to those found within Carcios. Stripped of their humanity and sanity, these abominations thrash out and attack anything that isn't the staff's wielder. The Lady of Sickness, the Putrid One, and the Decaying Goddess, Lix is the Ventara of revulsion, decay, and pestilence. Seen as almost a cosmic sibling to Worm, Lix is a festering being that revels in rot. Often taking on the appearance of a rotting and horrid woman, Lix rarely interacts directly with mortals, and only the most disturbed will worship her. Her realm is known as the Festering Mire, and as one might expect, it is a revolting plain with bubbling swamps and carrion-ridden marshes. Within the mire one can find a massive hut woven into a walking tree. The structure wanders the mire with a staggered pace, and within Lix toils away at concocting the next virulent sickness. Lix has 3 artifacts strewn about Iskara: the Vile Shroud, the Withering Hands, and the Oozing Scythe. The Vile Shroud is a veil made of an elegant mixture of emerald green silk and gold accents. While beautiful on the outside, the shroud will slowly wear away at its wearer, reducing them to a sentient walking corpse, and its enchantment turns said wearer into a plague spreader, as illness seeps from the wearer. Given its effects, only the most devout to Lix willingly choose to don the shroud. The Withering Hands are a pair of gloves that, once equipped, burrow into the flesh of the wearer and grants them abilities to quickly decay anything they touch. Lastly is the Oozing Scythe, a potent weapon capable of infecting its victims with virulent diseases that rapidly spread to anyone close to said victim. Mother of vampires, matron of blood, and the sanguine lady, Mave is the alluring goddess of blood, murder, ritual sacrifice, and vampirism. A cunning and seductive creature, Mave is particularly fond of mortal affairs and will often interact with those she deems interesting. The Matron of Blood is also the patron deity of the Crimson Covenant, a secretive order of assassins, spies, and infiltrators. The Vermilion Meadow, also known simply as the Meadow, is a plain within the void created and ruled over by Mave. The Meadow is one among a handful of plains that is well documented and relatively explored by scholars and adventurers alike. It is also said that the plain is rather tame, at least when compared to other Ventara plains. The Vermilion Meadow is a vast sea of vibrant red grass and flora, with rivers and waterfalls of flowing blood. The sky is a deep perpetual crimson with a lone moon as the sole source of natural light. Few constructs dot the plain, and fewer individuals know what lie within. These constructs appear to be made of an unknown stone that starkly contrasts the forest-like surroundings. It is hypothesized that these structures contain unknown knowledge pertaining to Mave, her realm, and her spheres of influence, or serve as conduits of powerful and ancient blood rituals. Mave is associated with 2 artifacts, the Siphoner's Blade and the Blood Font. The blade, also known as the Bloodletter, is the oldest known artifact of Mave. A dagger of exquisite make, its enchantments are said to drain the blood of its victims with every strike, replenishing the vitality of its wielder. And once the blade has satiated its hunger, it allows the wielder to use the blood it has consumed to create piercing and slashing projectiles until it is depleted and ready to repeat the process. The Blood Font is a strange red orb that is inscribed with powerful enchantments. It is said that the orb can grant its wielder access to unique blood spells, capable of manipulating and damaging the most fearsome of foes. Its exact origins are unknown, but some speculate that Mave created the orb herself. Others suspect an ancient blood mage created the font as an offering of devotion. Lady of Toxins, the Viperess of Venoms and Curator of Curses, Lilitu is the Ventara goddess of poisons, curses, hexes, and afflictions. Often taking the appearance of a humanoid serpent, Lilitu is rather enthusiastic to interact with mortals, especially when she can witness the effects of her domains in action. Her realm is known as the Spitting Spires, and it is here that it is said that massive flying serpents weave in between sky-piercing pillars that seep poison. Far below these beasts lies a vast ocean comprised of various acidic liquids. At the center of the realm lies a ziggurat, where it is believed that Lilitu experiments with new reagents and curses. Lilitu has two artifacts, the blue ringed coil and the fanged slicers. The coil are a set of rings that allow the wearer to tap into the elusive and extremely rare poison abilities handcrafted by Lilitu herself. The fanged slicers are a crude pair of daggers, with one being laced with an extremely potent paralytic toxin, and the other is said to place a curse on its victims. The Eternal Watcher, the Dark Guardian, and the Abyssal Judge, Vinesa is an odd deity, for his domain is more akin to an oath rather than some aspect of reality, for his sole purpose is to guard the void itself from anything powerful enough to disturb it. It is this fact that has many scholars debate if he should even be considered a god, but many suggest that his mere existence attests to his strength, for if he was a being of weak will or power, surely the other Ventara would have slain or consumed him. There are some that speak of a 20th Ventara looking to make their presence known to the world of Iskara, but such rumors are just that, tales spoken amongst the mad and the crazed. And that concludes our look at the dark deities of Iskara. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and feel free to like, subscribe, and comment any of your ideas, suggestions, or feedback down below. Take care, and happy world building.